Friends, subscribe my channel Netbook of Physics and press bell icon for latest update.
In this session, we are going to discuss about the derivation of the Newton's law of gravitation from Kepler's law of periods. What is Kepler's law of period? First, let us remind that it's a time square of the revolution of a planet around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis. So in this derivation, we will consider the planets are moving around the sun in a circular orbit. In that case, we can replace the semi-major axis to be the radius of that particular circular track. Now let us say this is a sun of mass capital M and the planet of mass small m is revolving around it in a circular orbit of radius, let's say r. So to revolve around the sun in a circular orbit, it requires a centripetal force. So the required centripetal force is mv square divided by r, where small m is the mass of the planet, v is the orbital velocity and r is the radius. Now we know the orbital velocity or the v of the planet is given by the circumference divided by the time period. So it is given by 2 pi r divided by t. T is the time taken by the planet to revolve around the sun. Now just replace the value of the v in this equation. So the force is given by m times 2 pi r whole square divided by r time t square. So the r square and these r cancels, we are left with m into 4 pi square r divided by t square. Now we know from the Kepler's law of periods that t square is proportional to r cube. So I can replace t square as some constant into r cube. So we will get from Kepler's law, we know t square is proportional to r cube. So I can write F equals to 4 pi square m r divided by k times r cube. So this r cancels out and it is with r square. So we can write F equals to 4 pi square m divided by k into r square. Now we know that is the force between the planet and the sun is mutually interactive. So this particular constant 4 pi square divided by k must be proportional to the mass of the sun too. So as the force is mutually interactive or the force is mutual between them, so this constant 4 pi square divided by k must be proportional to the capital M, that is the mass of the sun. So this, to remove this proportionality sign with a constant, we introduce capital G, that is the universal gravitational constant. So I can write it as 4 pi square by k as G into M, capital M. So while replace this 4 pi square k value into the force, from here I can write force is given as 4 pi square by k, just replace it with Gm, I can write Gm M divided by r square. So this is the expression for the gravitational force as derived by the Newton, that force is directly proportional to the product of the masses and is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So this is how the Newton's law of gravitation can be derived from the Kepler's law of periods.